Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. In this video I want to go over how to create a bash script, a simple bash script um, to show you how to run a ping command against a full network. Why would you want to do this? Well, there's many reasons. I know there's other tools that already offer this option. You can use nmap or zmap. However, if you create your own script, you can manipulate the script the way you want it to work. You can add more features, you can edit it, you can output redirect the output to other files and add on to it. Basically make it your own. The other reason would be in the event that these other tools are not available on your system, like I mentioned, nmap or zmap. If they're not available on your current system and you need to run a ping sweep against an entire network, what would you do? So this will be a good learning experience, to learn how to do a basic bash script that allows you to do just that. So on that note, let's get started. So we'll create a file, a bash script file. So we're gonna name it ping.sh. Okay, and the first thing we need to create is a number variable. Since we know the subnet's going to be, well, obviously it's going to be any subnet, but for this example we're going to do /24, which is 255 at the end of a subnet. So we need to create a number variable, a global number variable. So we'll do number equals 1 because we want to start with the value 1 all the way to 254. So for example, an IP address can be 192.168.1.1 all the way to .255. Obviously, that 0 is your network, that 255 is your broadcast address, so we don't want to include those. So for the next line, we want to start a loop. So we're going to use while, and then we're going to tell it, okay, while my global variable number is less than 255. Okay, so what I'm basically telling the script here, okay, do the following while the number is less than 255. That's plain and simple English. You should be able to understand that. So do the following. What do we want to do? It's as simple as just running one command. We want to run the ping command. So we want to do ping. How many times we want to execute the ping command per address? One time. How much time we want to wait until he executes the following sequence? 1 second. And then obviously we include the IP address 192.168.1 dot, and then the number variable. So $ number. Okay. And then what do we need to do? We need to increase the number by 1. Because obviously the first time the script runs is going to do 192.168.1.1. But then how do we tell it to increase the number by one number? So it will run 192.168.1.2. So we increase the variable. So we'll do number plus 1. Sorry. Okay. And done. So by adding that last line, well, second to last line, that's telling the script, okay, take my number variable, take its value, and increase that value by 1. So in the first instance, the variable set to number 1. Once it goes through the loop, then it increases by 1. It goes now the number value is going to be 2, and then 3, 4, 5, up until it meets until it's less than 255. Once it gets to 255, it's going to be like, nope, it's no longer true. So I'm done. Okay. So let's go ahead and save and exit, and let's make this file executable so we can run it. Ping.sh. So it's executable, and let's run it. There you go. So we can see it's running a ping against all the IP addresses on that subnet. So we can see 1, 7, 8, 9, 11, 10. And this is good. This is a good starting point, but I don't like it. We can improve. We can make this better. Okay, so let's exit out of this and let's create a different script. So we'll do vim ping2.sh. And how can we make this better? So I want to make it cleaner and easier to understand. So I'm going to go in a different direction. Now we're going to do a for loop instead of using a while loop. So we're going to do for I in my IP sequence, or range, I'm sorry, 251 through 254. So what I'm doing here, I'm doing a for loop for I. The I is just a variable name, and that can be any value. It can be I, it can be N, it can be X, whatever you want it to be. So for this example, you're going to do for I in the range of between 1 and 254, do the following. So it's pretty much the same logic as the while loop. So now we're going to create another variable named IP, and that's going to be equal to that range of IP numbers. It's going to be 192.168.1. And then the IP address. I'm sorry, the last octet of that IP. So it's going to be $I. So basically, it's going to take the value. As you can see, the I comes from this variable over here. So now we're using the value of that I, which is going to range. It's going to do a sequence between 1 and 254. So now I have all the IP addresses that I need in that particular variable in a loop. And again, now we just run the actual ping command. Same thing. Count -c is the flag for, okay, run it one time. Wait 1 second for the next one. And then we tell it the IP address. So now we're calling IP is this variable right here, IP. And the way we call it, so for the script to know, for Bash to know that this is a variable, we need the $sign before the variable name. Okay, and I don't want to see the output that we saw on the previous script. So I don't want to see that. That's too much. That's a big mess. I don't want to see that. So this, by doing this, so right now I'm redirecting a standard output and a standard error to dev null, which means basically I don't want to see anything. Don't give me any output from this command on the screen. But I do want to output you know, if the host is pingable or not. So we're going to run an if command, an if statement, I'm sorry. So we're going to do if the last command, and I'll show you this in a minute. If the last command is equals to 0, okay, then what do we want to do? We want to echo, we want to include the IP address is up, okay? If not, let's make this clean. If not, echo is, you know, output to standard output, or right align to standard output is down. We're gonna finish the if statement, done. Okay, so let's go through this one more time. So over here, we're creating a range for the variable I between 1 and 254. So it's gonna 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, all the way to 254. Then we're telling it, okay, assign that number in this loop to the IP variable 192.168.1, and the last octet value is going to be the value of I, which again is from up here. Now this is a very simple command. This is a very simple bash command running ping. One count, meaning just run it one time, wait 1 second for the next ping, and use the IP address from the IP variable value, which is this line over here, and redirect the standard output and standard error to dev null, meaning I don't want to see it. But then I do want to know if the ping was successful, meaning if the system is up or not, or if at least ICMP is responsive. So we're creating an if statement saying, okay, was the last command successful? Basically, when you run a command in Linux, if you don't know, if it's successful, it's going to output a number 0. If it's not successful, it's going to output any other number, either 1, 2, 3, 4, depending on what the error is. So that's what this is. So I'll show you this in a minute as well. So then, okay, if it's successful, go ahead and echo the IP address, or print to standard output of the IP address, and say, okay, the IP address is up, or IP address is down. Okay? So now we need to make this one executable as well. So the change mod 755 ping 2, and let's run it. How is this? Okay, syntax error. What do I have in here? Let's see. Oh, yeah. I need to slow down a little bit. Then, if, then echo that. If not, echo the next line. There we go. So it's going through all the numbers between 1 and 254. So you can see it says 1.2.3.4. So that's basically the entire subnet. So as we can see, it's a lot cleaner than the last script. Now it tells me, okay, IP address 1 is up, 2 is up, 3 is down, and so on. So that's great. But let's say we want to come back to this later and revisit the output. How do we do that? So we know how to output to sender output to the screen. So how do we redirect all this stuff? And I still want to see it on the screen, but I want to redirect it to a file, both up and down options. So okay, so we can do that as well. So let's edit the file, and we come to these two lines, these two echo lines. Those are the ones that we need to capture. We want to pipe or redirect the output using the T command -A. The -A option is very important. That's the append flag, because without that, if I just do that ping output .txt, yeah, that's going to work. But every time the loops goes by, then it's just going to override the line, and you're just going to see one line at the very end. So we want to make sure we add the append option, and we'll do the same thing over here. We'll do T append to the following file, which is ping output.txt. And again, that file name can be anything you want. So what this should do, this is going to go again for the same loop. You're still going to be able to see what's going on the screen, but also going to output, redirect that same output to that file that we created. Let's run that one more time. Okay, same thing. It's going through all the different IP addresses within that subnet. We get a few ups, a few are down. All right, let's cancel out of that. So now there should be another file, a third file, the ping underscore output.txt. Let's view that file, ping underscore output, and there we go. So he started to capture all the IPs that we were seeing on the standard output. So this is good. This is good, and I want to show you what this does. So that's an error. So that command that I was using in the if statement, $, question mark. So you can see that failed. Why? Because you're not supposed to run it that way. But if I execute this one more time, so if I do echo $, question mark, meaning okay, output to standard output, you know, what was the exit code for my last command. So as you can see, the exit code was incorrect, saying okay, bash 0 command not found. So that's an error. So that's going to give me any other number. So now if I run it one more time, because that echo command will execute it correctly, even though it gave me an exit code, but the exit code that it gave me was from the previous command. So if I execute it one more time, now it's going to give me an exit code of 0, which means, yes, the last command was successful. If I run it one more time, great. If I just type in, you know, whatever, anything that makes no sense, and I rerun it again, now it's going to give me another, different exit code. And again, those numbers can vary. It could be 1, 2, 3, 5. Right now it just happened to be 127. But then now if I run it again, it should be 0. So I just wanted to explain that in case that wasn't clear. This part right here. Yeah. So again, what this is doing is saying, okay, if the last command exited with an exit status 0, then do this, which basically tells me, okay, yeah, that ping command was successful because it exited the command with a exit code 0. So then output to the screen saying yes, the IP address is up. If not, if the value of my last command is anything but 0, then output the IP address is down. And that's all the logic there is to that. All right, I hope this was helpful. I know it's very simple, but you know, I'm sure it can be very useful for some people. If you have any comments, you know, leave a comment. Also, please leave a like on the video, subscribe, and again, I hope you like this video, and I'll see you in the next one.